Good evening, everyone. In today's session, we will see 4 things you can change in your writing. So this is not just for IELTS, it's for general English, TOEFL, PT, GRE, wherever writing is required. So if you make these 4 changes, your writing will become amazing. And the first one is weird sentence structure. Now, what is the meaning of weird sentence structure? First of all, unnecessary words which are not required in your writing. And second, awkward phrasing. Awkward phrasing in the sense sentences which are non-native. Generally, native people do not use such sentences. Let's see 2 examples of that so that we can understand what's happening. The red one that we see here actually is incorrect or wrongly created. So if I want to change that, I'll go with the blue one. The reason, let's see the first one. The globalization, first of all, let's read it and then see the mistakes. The globalization is the most important topic for all the people. They want to know what is happening around and what is the reason for that. Where did I get this sentence from? This particular sentence is from a book called Cambridge IELTS series. There is a series starting from 1 till probably we have 16, 17. What they do is they release essays, right? This particular company in their book at the end. That means at the end they provide essays with their rating. For example, this is 6 band, 7 band, 8 band, whatever. This is one of the sentences, right? And what do we see there is, of course, they provide sentences from students. So they do make mistakes. And here is the corrected version of that. As you can see, we do not need the word the here. Globalization is a major topic of interest. People want to stay informed about global events and their causes. Now, their causes is directly talking about, and what is the reason for that? Now, look what's happening. What is the reason for that is such a crazy statement, or you can say crazy clause that nobody uses in normal life, basically, when it comes to writing. Not in speaking. In speaking, we do. So for writing, this doesn't make any sense. But yes, their causes does. Right? If you know what is happening around is not something that we do in writing. This is not to be written in essay writing or report writing or anything, or letter writing. We do not use such language. So this is not a good sentence, and this is the corrected version of that, and you can see the difference, huge difference, the impact it creates when you read it. Right, let's go with another example here. We have another one. Sharing information is actual issue in our world where it has strong influence on people. If you notice that sharing information is okay, making sense, this is what we always write, but actual issue, nah, significant issue. Secondly, article is missing over here, which is mentioned as in our world where it has strong influence on people. That's a strongly influence society. That's much better, because society, that means where people generally live, right? So this world, the word world shouldn't be used much. Try to use society or mass or population. That's much better. So this is kind of corrected or improved version of this statement. And that's the first thing, try to make better statements or properly phrasing them. Second one, if you notice, we have already started with the first one. Now we're going to the second one, correcting grammar mistakes. So some students do already know the rules, but they don't use it properly because they are in a hurry or they just don't care about it, right? So let's see few examples of incorrect grammar. First of all, look at this. Secondly. No, it should be directly secondly. The disadvantages to visit the deserts is that the casualty rate is more in deserts as compared to the other discoveries. No, one disadvantage, because they're just discussing one disadvantage here of visiting deserts is the higher casualty rate compared, not compared to, not as compared to, but compared to. This is the correct version, this is the incorrect version. Other travel destinations, this is the corrected version of the grammar. You can see here compared to is incorrect. Instead of multiple disadvantages, we have just one, so we write one. So you see, grammar can create big issues for you, and yes, you do get deductions in IELTS, GRE, TOEFL, or anything you write, or PT, right? In general English as well, try to remove your grammatical errors. Another example of grammar, let's see. Some people thinks I think some people already can find the mistakes here. Some people think when their countries have the young, which is a spelling mistake, young people more than the old people will be good because that could increase the population in the future. There is a lot of problems actually. There are a lot of problems here. As you can see, we have problems here, we have problems here, we have problems here as well. Because people think, not people thinks. So some people think that having more young people than older individuals is beneficial because it ensures population growth. Notice that what's happening here. We have subject verb agreement problem because this is plural, so we write here think, not thinks. Same goes here. It ensures. You can see here it's a singular, we make it s, right, in the verb. So you see, when you change the grammar, this becomes something easy to understand, more influential, as well as easy to write as well. This is much longer than this one, but it has more impact. So try to remove grammatical errors from your writing, right? Let's move to the next one, not example, but next important point, and that is improving argument structure. Now, what does it mean? See, when we create an essay or whenever we provide our viewpoint, we always have arguments. Arguments in the sense, this is my viewpoint. This is why I feel this particular side is winning or losing, right? These are called arguments. And if those statements or structures are weak, your argument is kind of weak. We need to change that, right? How do we change that? Let's see an example of weak argument. One of advantages is increasing the population, okay? If the youth or the young generation still a lot, the school will not enough for the study. The government should construct more school. Now the point here, the argument here is not bad. I mean, the person who is writing saying that yes, there's so many people around us and we don't have many schools, and hence if we construct more schools, we will have benefit. But it is coming out as weak point because of the structure they have created. The argument is strong, but the structure is wrong. So how do we make it better? One advantage of a younger population is economic and educational growth. So we directly, not one of advantages, one advantage directly, we talk about that first of all. However, if the youth population continues to rise, government will need to build more schools. You can see here, need to build more schools and hire additional teachers to meet demand. Instead of saying there are more things coming, not enough, use the word have to meet demands. Right, try to use phrases, try to make it, because your point is quite strong over here already, that government need to invest more on education and there are more kids or more children, and hence you need to spend more on schools, but it's not clearly portrayed. This one is a strong argument now, right? Let's move to the next one. Here we have, the same thing, but another example. There are some simple rules in academic world which limit, spelling mistake, informational source between people. Look at the corrected version of this one. In academic world, information access is often restricted by ethical and legal considerations. So this point is much stronger than this one, as you can see here. By the way, in order to enhance your style of writing, there's one more book called Element of Style. Amazing book, I recommend. Not just making the sentences better, they also ask you to make the sentences simpler, right? Some people feel complicated sentences are better. No, simpler sentences with quite good content will always win hearts as well as score. Right, let's continue now. And next we have the last one, clarity and logical flow. See, when you try to explain anything, if there is no flow, people will not enjoy your story, your essay, your report, or anything, right? If there's no flow, this is called coherence and cohesion, combination of both, right? If your answer is clear, people would love to read it. If it is not, they would just, it's okay, we'll read something better. This is what they will say. So let's start with an example of what is not clear and then what is clear. It is shown in one of the Australian movie which is cast on a Japanese, okay? So we have multiple things added here. Anyway, so sorry. In movie, the Japanese goes to the desert for some research about how to survive in deserts. His car stuck into the desert. He just keeps trying to get out of there, and at the end he becomes succeed. So grammatically it's incorrect, first of all. Secondly, there is no flow. Basically flow, it's kind of a mini story. What's happening in some Australian or Japanese, we have no idea now. It's all kind of a mixed up jam, right? We need to solve this. We need to untangle this maze. Now look at this one. A scene from an Australian movie illustrates this point. In the film, a Japanese researcher gets stranded in the desert while studying survival techniques. Now, stranded in the sense getting stuck. So this sentence is now clear. Basically, this is making us clear what's happening in the Australian movie and what's happening with this Japanese person. He is lost or stuck, basically, right? Stranded is kind of stuck, alone kind of. And when he was trying to get to know the survival techniques, right? He struggled to escape, but eventually succeeds. Eventually succeeds because at the end you can say he succeeds. This is much better than the above one. And yes, most importantly, but forget about the grammar and vocabulary and all those things. Important is this can't even explain a story properly, but this in short explained everything properly. That's what we need in writing. That's what we need in your essay writing, report writing, everyday writing as well. If you're writing an email or if you're writing a story, please follow this rather than this jumble mess. Something simpler, right? Something which has clarity and a good flow, right? Let's try another one, but shorter one probably. Overall, when we listen or children, that we make their future personality better. Parents should respect children, same like adults. This is like, we're just talking in tiny chunks. No. Overall, listening to children helps shape their personality positively. This person is talking about personality getting better, so we have to talk about both points in a single statement. Now, parents should respect their children just as they respect adults. See, just as they, that means similarly, same like. The same like is not connecting anything, but we are connecting here what? We are connecting parents and children and adults. By what? This is called coherence and cohesion. Very important part of writing, and that's the end of your writing basically. These 4 things which we have discussed are really helpful for people to get their grade bands or score in other exams, and also whenever you're writing for anything, right? Like I said, for emails, for stories, these points will help. Have a great day ahead. I'll see you soon, guys.